Hey guys, it's Bruce over here at BCool Radios, showing my glare-filled radios for you to check out. What do you think of these radios? You know, BCool, he likes to stick in the counter, so I took the clock out of this radio. Yeah, some people say sacrilegious, right? Well, the clock is still inside and still working if you really wanted it back, but yeah, it's got extra channels and stuff, you see, and a 5kc switch. Yeah, it's just nice to know where you're at, you know, instead of pushing switches and looking at a piece of paper and going, I think I'm there. Anyway, that's my motivation of putting counters in these guys. See, just like this guy. I don't like a clock. Yeah, it does say AM, PM, but anyway, let's get some of that glare out of the way. Can you see that a little better? Hey guys, so time for another video. I got a request, and I'll do requests, no problems. Yeah, he wanted a good classic radio from the 80s, you know, the good old Uniden versions, using that chip that's in the Cobra 142, 148, 2000, Washingtons, that T-Berry you saw me do. Yeah, they basically all share the same designs and great performers. So I told him I'd look, and yeah, this is what I found. Had to go in the back room and look a little deep, but we're going to go over this radio. And before I show it, I'm going to show the as found condition. Now, you folks out there that buy eBay radios, hey, you know sometimes you can snag a good deal on eBay, maybe get lucky, right? But a lot of times these 40-year-old radios just need to be serviced, and a lot of the sellers have no clue if they work. So hey, I'm not going to put down anybody's work. There are techs out there that do excellent work. You know, you can usually find them, but the majority of these radios were used, put away, put in a closet, and now they're being found by the next generation and they sell them. So that's the story on this radio here. This is a Uniden Washington. You saw the top there. It's okay. It's got a few imperfections and you know, you see that? Okay, let's go down and take a look here. Alright. The good old Washington. What's not to like about a Washington? It's got all the controls, the mic gain, everything. Now check out the paperwork here. You see, this is a reminder again for folks out there that buy a radio from BCool. I'm just not the normal eBay seller, and really, there's nobody as crazy as me that would buy a radio on eBay, pay all that taxes and shipping, bring it to my house, not even knowing if it's going to work, and then try to do my best on it to get it back up to spec and then sell it again on eBay and let them take 15% off the top, right? That doesn't make sense, does it? Could you do it? Nah, I'm crazy, okay. So this is what the note says. Works. Stocks. Philippines. So I know why I bought this radio. The user said it. They weren't sure, but I saw the back sticker. It said Philippines, and it's not in too bad a shape. A few dings. So I snagged this on the spot. Paid for the radio, paid my local Washington state taxes, and that damn shipping for the post office. So let's go over this radio and why people really like the Philippines. Philippine radios, yay! Well, I'm going to tell you right off the bat. A lot of the Philippines stories are just hype, right? There's always stories told, but I'll give you some facts. How's that? At least BCool Culver facts. You see, first these Unidens were made in Japan. Great radios. Then they moved it to Taiwan, and they were still pretty good radios. By the time they moved their facilities to the Philippines in the 90s, maybe it was the late 80s. Well, parts and whatnot improved, right? The parts started getting better, more dependable, smaller, right? The capacitors were better, lasted longer, and plus, because they were built in the 90s to late 90s, not the 70s, late 70s or whatnot, they can be, good 10, 15 years newer. But not all things in the Philippines is good, okay? Especially those Cobra 2000s. Now, they do have those nicer components in them, I'll give them that. But if you've ever looked at the wood top of a Philippines-made CB, especially when they live in Florida, they're made out of particle board, or some weird particle board, and they absorb the moisture over 40 years, especially like, high humidity spots. And they actually swell up like a sponge getting full of water. Yeah, so I hate the tops of Philippine. The wood, I'm not even going to call it wood. You see, that's what, there you go. The wood of a Philippines-made 2000, that's not wood. It's particle board and glue. Okay? Now the Taiwan units, that's real wood. Looks like mahogany, in fact. Okay, let's see. Some of the telltale signs of a Washington. That comes out of the Philippines. Let's look at the bottom. Okay, let's get some light on there. You see, that's nice sheet metal on there. But you notice a change, right? Where those earlier Taiwan and Japanese made Unidens, this metal had like this golden sheen to it. And yeah, it would deteriorate and not, treated well. But this is almost like a painted surface. It's kind of gray. I'm not really sure if it's like anodized. I don't know, but yeah, they changed the metal. Okay, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Yeah, looks okay. Let's look at the back of the radio. Now you can see this radio's been opened up. It's missing some screws. I had this wire here. I don't know what this wire is for, but maybe that scared away somebody. But we're gonna figure this thing out. But you see, there you go. That back of the radio is using that same gray metal. Little call 1-800 if you need help. There you go, all you Uniden users. Give this guy a call. Okay, so here's the infamous sticker. Some of the Unidens say what year they're on. You see this one here? It's got this little plastic on it still. I'm going to rip that off, but I'm going to clean that up later. But just so we can see that. Now there's a date code in there. You see that? I'm sorry, I don't know it off the top of my head. But this is the story on the Philippines-made radios. They are the last of the great Uniden radios manufactured. Those Cobra 2000 Uniden 142s out of the Philippines. Yeah, shop closed in 1994, and that was the last base stations like these vintage radios we all love were produced. They made a few mobile rigs over in China afterwards, but these base stations, nope. The Philippines was the last place they made them. So, there you go. All that hype about the Philippines. Some of it's true, but this is what I would say. I like that they use better components, better capacitors, and probably there's less miles on them. Okay, in the next section, we're going to go turn this guy on and show you what a radio from eBay sounds like after 40, 45, 40, yeah, this is about 40, 35, 40 years old, okay? BCool Radios.